My oldest kid requested a cloud-shaped earring holder for their collection of earrings. They're going to need more than just one. But I knew this was a scroll saw project I wanted to tackle. So if you want to make one too, you're going to need 1/4" MDF, a roll of window screen, somewhere between 10 and 15 bucks at the hardware store, and the printable template that you can get from the link in the description. To make this earring holder, I'll be using 1/4" MDF, and I'm cutting it in a stacked cut. So I have a layer of clear contact paper on the front side and the back side of this top piece, and then the top side of the bottom piece. And I'm going to use spray adhesive to attach the top and bottom layer together, and then spray adhesive again to attach my paper template to the top. Normally, I would recommend cutting out the inside part before cutting out the outside part, but here, because it was a pretty large piece, I opted to go with the outside cut first, and then working with the inside cut was totally fine and easy. I have my blade tension set to 4, and my speed is at about 5. The type of blade that I'm using is a number 7 reverse. You want to make sure you're picking a blade that's a little bit sturdy since you're cutting through a 1/2 inch of material and not just a 1/4 inch. After cutting out the majority of the outside, then I'm going back in to get any little corner pieces. And then I've drilled a hole in so that I can add the blade and reconnect it at the top. All right, so now on this part of the template, make sure that you cut straight along this gray line and then continue following along the pink outline. We'll cut the rest of that out on just the top layer because our top and bottom layers are just a little bit different. But by doing the stack cut for the majority of the cutting, all of our edges line up because they were cut at the same time. Okay, so when this inside part is all cut out, then you need to split apart the top and the bottom of the stack. You can use an X-Acto knife or something else to get in there and just gently start to pry those apart. Be careful with the blades that you're not nicking the edges, but then you'll be able to pull that contact paper out of the middle. And so that's our bottom piece. We're going to set that to the side, and then our top piece still has the template, and now we're going to cut along that pink outline because this is our top layer of the earring holder. Go slow and careful when you start here because the blade will feel like it's cutting a lot faster now that you're only cutting through a 1/4 inch of material, so just be aware of that when you switch to this part of the cut. Then give everything a couple of coats of primer. And then I wanted this section of the bottom piece to be black so it kind of blends in with the window screen. And I'm kind of trying to get the inside too. Then it's time to glue, so I'm just using some wood glue to spread around the edges. And then I've cut a piece of window screen, just kind of the basic shape of the cloud here, but you want at least a couple of inches of excess sticking around all the sides. Then layer on the top piece and start clamping it together. So you'll want to line those up really well and then clamp it in one spot. And then start to pull the window screen so that it stretches out and it's a little tighter inside that frame. And just keep adding the clips all the way around. If you need to, you can take off a clip and pull it a little tighter again and then clip it back down. Go all the way around the shape so that the window screen is pulled tight and the frame is all clamped together tight so that it will glue nicely and hold that window screen in there. Want to let that dry and cure overnight. And then the next day you can take an X-Acto blade or craft knife and cut away that extra window screen as close as you can to the edge of those wood pieces. There are going to be some little pokey bits that still stick out that you won't be able to cut off, but I used my palm sander and ran it around the edges and that knocked everything smooth. Then because I had done extra sanding and my little clips that I used to hold everything in place left a few little marks on the paint, I actually came back in just with some regular craft paint to paint over the top and the edges with white. Try to not get any on the window screen, but if you do, you can come in and just kind of scrub it lightly with a damp washcloth and the paint will come off. I did 2 coats of the white paint so that it did a pretty good job of covering up the little smudges on the top and any black that was showing through on the sides. When it's completely dry, you can flip it over and add a command strip, hang it up on the wall wherever you want in your room, and add a bunch of earrings to it. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that you saw here. Make sure you check the description for all of the links, and I will see you next time.